Hey students, so for today, before we start our actual lesson, we're going to be working on retrieval practice. And what you're going to do is, in just a minute, go ahead and click on the link right here that says retrieval practice. And when you click on that link right here that says retrieval practice link, this is what's going to come up, okay? So it says math retrieval 2. And you're going to go in and answer all of the questions here. Put in your name first. Who is your teacher? You're going to click on the correct one. And you're going to answer the questions on here, okay? And when you are finished, you are going to submit it. And just take just a few minutes for you to go ahead and do that. So now that you've had a chance to do the retrieval practice form and answer those questions, we're going to move on to our lesson for today, which is Unit 4, Lesson 10. And today is Thursday, December 3rd. Real world application of multiplication. So we're just going to continue on with our work with multiplying numbers, and we're going to put it more in a real world application type setting today. Our essential question remains the same. Why is it important to approach problems using a variety of strategies? Our learning target for today, I can create, model, solve, and explain word problems involving multiplication. Conjectures and critiques. Lisa was planning a party. She bought 17 cases of soda. Each case had 12 cans. She wanted to figure out how many cans of soda she had altogether and wrote this multiplication problem. 12 times 17. So which models on the next few pages, on the next few slides, could Lisa use to represent the product of this problem? So in the next few slides, we're going to have some different models, and it's going to be our job to figure out, well, which ones could she use? Which models could she really use to represent the problem? Okay. So we'll go ahead and click to our next one. So right here, you've got the same problem, 12 times 17. Is this model correct or incorrect? Why? So let's take a look at it. At the top, you've got 10, you've got 10, and you've got 2, and you've got 7. So let's pause for a second. If you answer for this one that it was incorrect, then that is the right answer. So this is incorrect. You can't use this. This does not appropriately model multiplication of 2-digit by 2-digit numbers using the area model. So it doesn't model it correctly. So this up here would be 10 plus 10, 20. This would be decomposing the number 20, which we don't have a 20 up here. And over here, this would be decomposing the number 9, and we don't have that number 9 up here anywhere. So she did that incorrect. Let's move on to our next one. So we're going to pause again. Is this model correct or incorrect, and why? So this model is also incorrect. This model is incorrect because it does, when you see the numbers decompose here, it does not account for the numbers that are in the tens place. So the one right here, the value is 10, and the one right here, the value is also 10. I don't see 10 on it anywhere. So that's incorrect for that reason. So now we're going to move on. We've got another one. And I'm going to pause for a second. Is this model correct or incorrect, and why? So this model is correct because the area model has been correctly used in this situation. So the 12 has been decomposed to be 10 and 2, and the 17 decomposed to be 10 and 7. So this is the correct model for that one. And we'll move on to our next one. Is this model correct or incorrect, and why? So this one is not correct. So this one is also incorrect because it's not correctly modeled. The one in the tens place is not correctly shown down here. It's not correctly shown. So you should have a 10 being here, and also you should also have another 10 from the decomposed from the 17. So 10 and a 7, and a 10 and a 2. So our first Jamboard of the day has multiplication methods. This is just more practice with all of our different methods. And this one has been assigned to you also by your teacher, and I will bring up in just a minute here and show you the correct one you should be working on first. Now, keeping in mind, you got your help buttons down here, and we've talked about these before. You've got, when you click on the help button for the above the area model, it gives you an example of the area model problem being worked. And if you click on the expanded notation help button, that gives you an example of a problem being solved using the expanded notation. Same thing with the algebraic notation. Okay, so just in case you forget or just need a reminder, you can come back to this slide and click on the help buttons if you need help. So this is the first Jamboard they should be working on. There are 3 problems on here. If you go to the top and there's little arrows, it shows 1 of 3, it's 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. So for these, 43 times 67, it says solve using the area model. And for the next one, solve using the expanded notation, 43 times 67. And for the next one, 43 times 60, solve using the algebraic notation. Okay, so you're solving the same problem, just 3 different ways. And we're going to pause for a minute, give you an opportunity to go ahead and work these problems. And what I'll do is I'll help you with the first one here. So with the first one, 43 times 67, and I'm showing you my work on there using the area model. If you can see the smaller number 43, I've decomposed that and I put it on the left side over here as we usually do, broken it down to be 40 plus 3, and the 67, I've decomposed the 67 to be 60 plus 7, and in my first rectangle, I multiply 40 times 60. Remember, I just one shortcut. 4 times 6 is 24, and I counted how many zeros I have. There's 1 0, that's 2 0. I just added my zeros. And over here, I multiplied the 7 times the 40, 28, and I have 1 0, add the 0. And down here, the 60 times the 3, 180. And down here, lastly, 7 times 3, 21. And then all of my partial products I put over here and added them all up, 2,881. And here we have our answer. Okay, so that's the area model. And for the next 2, you're going to use the other methods to solve on the second one and the third one. So after you've solved those other 2 on there, we're going to move on to our next slides. And I've actually got a comparison of all 3 right here. So I want you to go in and compare first your answers to the ones that I have right here. I do have the area model that I've already shown you, the expanded notation, and the algebraic notation is right here. Comparing those 3 strategies first to what you have, and then I want you to just compare, take a look at each one of them and compare them to each other. We've done this exercise before, but I want you to do it again, to take a really close look at all 3 of them. And for our next slide, you got more Jamboard method practice, and this is going to be your independent practice, and I will show you the exact Jamboard that you need up, and it's already been assigned to you by your teacher. And this is the Jamboard that you should work on for your independent work. There are 3 problems on here. When you go up to the top, this says 1 of 3. You click the arrow, you go to the second one, then you go to the third one. Okay, let's go back to the first one. It's directions. Choose multi-digit numbers to complete each word problem. Determine the solution to the problem you create using 2 methods of your choice. Okay, and what this means is you are creating your own numbers in here. Okay, so you have to figure out what numbers do you want to go in there, and these are going to be multi-digit numbers, so that means that at least a 2-digit number is what you're putting in here. 2 methods. And for here, same thing, you're choosing your own numbers and you're solving it 2 different ways. Same thing here, you're choosing your own numbers and you're solving it 2 different ways. And I'm going to go back up to our slides. And just as a reminder, if you need help just remembering how to do each of these methods, you can go and click on the help button right here. And I've got them on several different slides so that you'll have easy access to them. And here, our last slide, our live lesson, of course, 2 o'clock, independent work, complete the Jamboard lesson on the previous slide. And also, you are working on Khan Academy for 15 minutes and Dreambox for 15 minutes.